Hi, it's What If Wednesday time with Susan Bennett Fisher and Martin Fisher, the co-founders of Body of Nine. Are you ready for What If Wednesday? What is important about Body of Nine? Why does it matter? That's what we're going to talk to you today. What if you knew about it? What if you embraced it? What if you moved into it with your fullness, with all of your understanding?
How can it help change your life, and actually how can it help to change the world? If you've ever thought there's things that we could do to influence the world in a way that has more power than perhaps we thought was even possible, then Body of Nine is a way to do that as well.
And I'm Susan Bennett Fisher, co-founder of Body of Nine.
And I'm Martin Fisher. It's good to see you again.
Yes. Hi, honey.
Hi, sweetie. Connection is always important, and part of the benefits that come with knowing your natural number is that it's easier to connect with other people and your natural number. What is a natural number, honey?
So there are 9 physiologically different kinds of or presentations of our human experience. There are 9 centers in our body, and they're in all humans. Sets of muscles, bones, and fascia that can activate in a particular way. Go ahead. When you're born, one is born active. So there are 3 in the head, 3 in the chest, and 3 in the body. And each one has a really different way of experiencing life.
Yes, I like to describe it that it determines your physical reality, how your eyes work, how you move, what you care about. Your entire physical reality is actually determined by this natural number.
From the time you're born, your body is begin to be shaped and formed to activate this naturally in your being. And as you grow with different stages of life, different aspects of this part of you begin to evolve. So, go ahead.
I love you. So we're having fun here. I hope you'll be having fun at home. Why is that important? Why does knowing that you have a natural number make a difference? Well, as it turns out, most of us, most of the time, do not hang out with people with the same natural number as ourselves. And in fact, in families, parents with children and their children do not share the same natural number until you get to the 8th and 9th child who, in our experience, always have the same natural number as the parents. So since the words we use, what we care about, how we move, our entire reality is determined by a natural number, that means that your parents and your siblings have no idea what your reality is like.
So that's our nature. You are born a particular way. And understanding your nature and how your body's equipped and how it can activate and the gifts and skills that come with it, bringing conscious knowledge to your natural number changes everything.
Hopefully, most of you out there, and certainly I know Susan and I, our parents loved us and did their best to help us become the wonderful human beings that we all can be. But as it turns out, their reality and how they wanted to be raised as children, how they wanted to be supported, how they wanted to be honored, are not like you. So no matter how good the intentions are, the chances are that unless they know about the natural number, the Body of Nine, and there are many parents out there that do, the chances that you are actually honored and validated the way that you want to be is unfortunately quite low.
So our nurture over time takes us further and further away from our nature. So one of the initial benefits of Body of Nine is that we return you to your nature. We reconnect you with what you were born with and what that means and what to do with it. We give you physiological changes and physiological exercises that you can use to recover your nature as a starting point and a springboard for what's coming next.
If you watch your favorite actor or your favorite musician on stage, and you think, wow, there's a really amazing magical talent coming at you, it's very likely that person is actually really activating their natural number and has found this place within themselves. And they've done it through practice and training. And with a simple physical motion, you could do the same thing. For example, my natural number is 5. My movement sends at the top of my head. I'm kind of suspended like a puppet. And if I really want to get back to the best part of me, I just raise myself up and here I am. So the first step and the first benefit of knowing your natural number is it's an easy physical way to get back to your true self.
And each has their own unique way. Our bodies can learn to activate all 9. But we're going to address that a little bit later because it's That's the transition from me being my most powerful self to me being a cosmic human. I want to talk about Body of Nine as two things. Body of Nine is both a modality, a way to actually become a better person, like a meditation or yoga or other modalities that are out there, therapies. And it's also a context, a way of understanding why you show up the way you do and what's important to you and how your body is informing you of those things.
You've probably heard of things like Myers-Briggs or the Enneagram. These are techniques to have some indication about who you are as a person, but they're not really looking at your physicality. Body of Nine is very much about what is your body telling us? What does your body say in terms of who you are? Because the way that your body builds and the way that your natural number manifests are very, very tightly integrated.
And if you've experienced any sort of trauma in your nurturing, this takes you away from, separates you from the core being of who you are. Most trauma results in a lack of embodied confidence. We lose confidence in the natural strength built into us. When you lose that connection to who you are at your most core, it can be devastating. And depending on the degree of trauma, the challenge of recovering gets harder and harder. So the even numbers, for example, are more body-based. When a body-based person is traumatized, they lose confidence in learning to listen to their body. For the 1 through 9, the odd numbers, they're more unbody-based, more spiritually based, for lack of a better word. So if they lose their connection to trust in something greater than themselves, that somehow, God or source is not just,
or nature,
whatever your word is. If you lose trust in that spiritual bigness, you also lose trust in yourself. So it's really critical for you to understand the nurture and its impact on your nature, and then how do you use your body to get back to your nature?
Because we're working under the assumption, and I hope it's a valid one, that most of us are hoping to improve our lives in some way or other, whether it's through better relationships, whether it's feeling more calm, whether it's feeling more self-centered or centered. Self-centered, possibly the wrong way to describe it, but really centered in self is how I would like to describe it. And so there's many, many avenues to follow that path. And this is where the context and the modality parts of this come in, because knowing that you are very, very unique, but at the same time have a more in common with 1/9 of the population than your brothers and sisters and your parents, there is an element of relief. There are many natural numbers who have particular ways of experiencing the world, and some people would look at those ways and say, well, that's not good. But that judgment, that putting one's own internal values on somebody else can lead to, as Susan said, trauma. It can lead to things and judgment. And judgment is a really bad way to connect to each other.
Well, and let's define judgment. That judgment is placing yourself above or below, or something above or below something or somebody else.
Yes. And none of the natural numbers is above or below any of the other natural numbers. We each have amazing gifts. Each of the natural numbers
equally important
with equally powerful gifts.
Yes, and this is one of the things that is another thing that's so powerful, and it's an equalizer. You are equally important to me, and both of us have a gift that comes with our being that we are able to offer when we're connected to our nature.
Sometimes we have to unlock that gift, because if you haven't been honored or validated for who you are, you may be hiding that gift. Someone may have said to you, well, why do you smile so much? And that's very invalidating for people that love to smile and in fact need to smile to find their natural number.
Exactly.
So understanding your natural number is a way to step out into that person that you are, to find your internal magic, because we really do have our own internal magics, each of us.
Yes. What is available to us through our body is quite astonishing when you start to explore the possibilities that are presented to you. The first step is to find out your natural number and then learn to use your body to activate it. So for each of them, it's a different physiological activation. Martin, the 5 is that stretch up. For me, as a 6, it's a lift. So each has their own subtle body shift that activates the strength and power within you. And that is a starting place that enables you to springboard out into whatever your purpose is. So any modality can fit into the context of this.
Yeah, you may find that you've done work on yourself, you've read some self-help books, and there's some books that, wow, I really understand, I really can feel what this person's talking about. And there's other books that I just don't understand. I can barely understand the words that are on the page. And that's nothing negative about you or even about the book.
Right.
What it means is that that person's wisdom isn't resonating because they're probably not the same natural number that you are.
So that modality may not resonate for you in the moment, but when you can put that modality into your tool belt, which is the understanding of the 9, Body of 9 is really the tool belt that holds these modalities, even though it's in and of itself is a modality. Or rather, the exercises we teach are a modality.
I think so, yeah.
So the understanding that there are 9 physiologically different kinds of people enables you to understand what gift is being offered to me in this moment. So if you take an amazing spiritual teacher like Tony Robbins, he has natural number 3. Super inspiring, joy-giving, intention-setting, driving us towards being a better person. These are the fundamental skills of natural number 3.
So you go and see a Tony Robbins show or you watch your videos. Wow, I'm totally inspired. Tony's
Right.
really got me powered up. And the video turns off and
we go back to sleep. Now we can learn from that, and we can learn how to activate the 3 within us. We can learn how to know who in our lives are 3s and can turn that soul empowerment back on. That's just one example of the gift that's offered by a natural number. There are spiritual teachers out there, the Dalai Lama and Thich Nhat Hanh, beautiful 5s teaching us to clear our minds, be present in the moment, not stress about things that aren't that are causing us suffering. This is 5 wisdom. So when you find a truly empowered wisdom teacher, most of the time they're teaching their own natural numbers wisdom.
So one of the benefits that Body of 9 offers over, for example, the Enya type or Myers-Briggs, and some advantage of being able to actually connect to the wisdom of other natural numbers is the physical aspect of your natural number. One of the examples I like to say is you can read about how to play tennis all day and all night for years, but that's not going to enable you to actually go onto the tennis court and play the game, because life has a huge physical aspect. And no matter how much you read, if you can, for example, listen to a natural number 5 by activating your 5 at the same time, your body's going to get that wisdom.
I was on a call this morning and I had to go to the bathroom, and as a 6, it's a body-based urgency for me. And in order to be able to stay with the person I was talking to, I activated my 5, and that lifted the pressure. I was like, oh, okay, I was able to stay there at least until I was done with that section. So you get physiological benefits as well as spiritual, mental, different skills come in as you learn to activate the other parts of your body.
So we've spent a lot of time over the last 6 months doing these What If Wednesdays, and we really, really enjoy doing it. We love working together, as you can tell. And the next few months, we're going to be spending a little bit more time on about how to actually start working with the other energies in your body, and why is that important. And that takes us to the next part of how can natural numbers, how can Body of 9 help you move forward into wherever it is that you want to go, really. Because
so you've been identified,
Yep.
and now you're ready to springboard out. Most people spend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months just exploring themselves. Then the understanding that to truly understand myself, I need to understand all these other people in my life.
it's the only way to tell what isn't you is to figure out what somebody else is. Because as it turns out, there are 9 different jobs in the world, really. And you are here and built literally to do one job really well. It's your superpower. However, if you look at another natural number and say, well, they do amazing things too, which they do, then you can see, well, what can they do that isn't built into me? And again, Tony Robbins is a fantastic example, because here's a natural number 3. And no matter how much joy, no matter how hard Susan and I activate our natural number 3, you're still not going to get the same feeling of joy and excitement and motivation and inspiration that he's going to give you. Because
But you'll get a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
We'll get happier.
Yeah, we'll get happier.
Because
we get more animated.
we can find the joy within ourselves, the
Yes.
knowing, and learning to tap into the energy of those other natural numbers gives you a more cosmic experience of yourself.
Yes.
It turns out each is a center. So we're talking about what you're learning to do is tune your radio. First, you learn to tune your own radio, so get the static out of your own natural number. Then you can learn to tune to different stations. and then fine tune your ability to receive the frequency of information that's coming from those different parts of the body.
Because your body's been receiving information through its decoding mechanism through your natural number since you were born, and the fascinating information that there's actually 8 times as much information out there for you to absorb and learn from and react to and help benefit the world with. It's a fascinating statement. We are, when all 9 are activatable, different human beings.
Yes, the ego relaxes, clarity comes around your purpose, you find a reduction in self-imposed suffering, the ability to activate your observer to understand what's going on in your life and then choose a conscious path. These things all open up for you.
The ability to connect with other people where they are. So, and just be able to actually see other people better, see their natural numbers and react to their natural numbers because you have some awareness of them all in your body. As we've said, you have all 9 centers in your body and one of them has been born active. And first step, as Susan said, get that identified and start figuring out who you are. It takes a little while. This is a body-based process. Our bodies don't learn instantly.
And you have to practice. Yes. Just like in tennis, you have to practice to get better, and you have to get some lessons. You have to get some lessons to learn from people who are already better than you. And it's an exploration, a constant exploration. Martin and I continue to explore. I'm gonna out you a little bit.
Okay.
When Martin and I first, after I learned to activate all of my natural numbers, Martin held on to the idea that he didn't have to activate his in his body for a very, very long time. And then every now and then he would activate one. He would learn one from somebody. Somebody would come over to the house or whatever. And one day he just had all 9 going. And that was when he realized, like, oh, there is some benefit here. So it's not until you've actually done it that it lands in your body about how important this is.
And the fun part is that the way that the even numbers activate and the way that the odd numbers activate is similar, but not quite the same. I'm pretty sure that the odd numbers think, oh, I've got an intention, now I'll get my body to move. Whereas the even numbers, like, I'm going to get my body to move, then I'm going to add an intention. And it's a really fascinating study in terms of how the actual numbers behind the natural numbers relate to each other. It's not something we'll be spending any time on here, but just know that if one was to use the scientific method and say that that requires the ability to anticipate and predict, then the numbers behind the natural numbers actually give us predictions about behaviors. Fascinating stuff.
Yes, a whole nother subject. So what's the benefit? You can, by finding out your natural number, you can understand yourself better and you can understand everybody else around you better. Finding out the natural number of your children is probably the most impactful thing you can do as a parent. To begin to acknowledge them where they live, understand how they take in information, what they care about, and what they do with that information. Because it is not like you. That's the only guarantee. Unless they are your 8th or 9th child. Or more. They're not like you. So understanding the people that you love and knowing how to support them at a very fundamental body-based and spiritual level creates stronger, more resilience, and happier children.
Yes, so just the ability to pass this gift down to your children so that they don't spend their lives before they become an adult suffering and miswiring almost, then it's a huge gift to give your children. It's almost, other than life, it's kind of one of the top 10 things that you can do for your children.
Absolutely. And because it opens so many other avenues for doing good things for them.
Yes.
It's a starting point, again, a springboard. Yeah. This work is so much a starting point and a springboard for becoming a more cosmic, fuller, happier human.
So let me ask you a question. What do you want to do with the rest of your life?
Oh, that's a big question.
Because no matter what you want to do, I'm going to make the claim that knowing your natural number is going to make it easier and more fun. No matter what it is. You're at a place in your life, wherever that place is, and you have the whole rest of your life ahead of you. Knowing your natural number is going to make it more fun and easier. We find it time and time again. We've worked with 7,000 plus people, 7,500. There are 800, 900 people just like you. And within 6 months to a year, they're all happier. They all feel more in alignment. Don't you want that too?
It's a deep validation of who you are at your most fundamental. That, again, opens doors for growth and change beyond your imagination.
We firmly believe that the more people that know their natural number, the easier communication is going to be. I don't think we'll find world peace,
Well,
but you never know.
could be.
All we've got to do is work with another 8.5 billion people, and then maybe that'll happen. Because it's very, very hard to be mean. It's very, very hard to be
Judgmental.
It's very, very hard not to be your best self when your natural number's activated.
Yep. It's very hard to attach to ideas and possibilities that, and the best of you comes out.
Yes. And yes, Susan and I, we argue. Absolutely, we're human.
Scare the shit out of people when we do, too. People do not like us to argue.
It does happen. Doesn't happen very often. But the good news is we can recover almost instantly because our natural numbers help. We understand each other. We know who we are. We know who the other person is. We know how to support each other. And no matter how short and exciting the confrontation can be, very, very, very quickly, we're back together the way we are right now.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
It is awesome.
Yes.
So that's another benefit of Body of Nine. You, in fact, your relationships improve.
You get to be not living in fear anymore. It's hard to live in fear when you know that you have a superpower and that you can handle anything that's coming at you with the help from your superpower, your body.
The other thing that, was a big learning for me was this ability to create more consciousness about my choices in life. So choosing a positive perspective, choosing happiness, choosing love. When I learned to choose those things in my life and reminded myself regularly to choose them, they came into my life more proactively.
And these lessons didn't come from Body of Nine. They didn't come from our natural numbers. It was our ability to connect those concepts with our natural number that made it easier and much, much simpler to integrate into our lives.
Yes. I mean, I truly believe in manifestation and that the universe will manifest what you ask for. That makes it very, very important to be careful and clear. The universe is manifesting a lot for a lot of people. How many billion people?
8-ish.
8 billion people? It's a lot of work. And it's very important to put consciousness and clarity around that. And when you come from your natural numbers purpose, it's much easier for the universe at some level.
Do you want to have a great family life? Awesome. Do you want to help change the world? Awesome. That, in our deepest place, what Susan and I believe that we can do.
We believe that more is possible for our ability to perceive. We can expand our perceptions to include the other 8 ways of being. We can really amplify our own natural numbers so that it becomes a true superpower in a way that we never understood. And we talked a lot about don't disbelieve in one of our earlier episodes. Just staying open to, wow, maybe that is possible. Maybe I can split the clouds and create beautiful weather for myself today.
Yeah, maybe I can read what's on people's bodies that are spiritual nature or an energetic nature.
Whatever you think you can do, just not disbelieving allows you to at least try and see what happens. And so much of this, there's no harm, usually only good. So the 9 each have a tremendous purpose and a tremendous power. One helps us connect to source, to the goodness of nature, of God, whatever your words are for the power of creation. From that place, that's a starting place. From there, we move into connection with others because it's only really in connection that we can get anything done. And then 3 empowers our soul. I'm sorry, that was 2, connecting and being together in the moment. 3 empowers our soul and enlivens our being from a fundamental level that enables our soul to actually be the driver. And then 4 teaches us to be with each other in a very truly authentic way. What does it mean to be authentic? It doesn't mean to say whatever I want, unless it does in the moment, right?
Yes.
So 1, 2, 3, and 4 teach us how to be better in relationship. Learning to activate those parts of our body activates better relationships.
In better relationship with self as well.
Yes, absolutely. And then 5 through 9 is about how do we transform? How do we evolve? How do we build the world into a better place? Each one of those natural numbers has a different way of driving that process forward. You want to describe that?
Well, natural number 5 is very much about context. What do we know? What don't we know? What holes do we need to fill in so that we can get things done? Natural number 6, very much about movement. What's most alive? How do we keep the group moving in a way that is in benefit for all of us? Natural number 7, which is the third eye. It's about the change. What has to change? How do we get things better? Is what we're doing appropriate? A benefit for all? Natural number 8, it's in the spine. It's very much about trust. It's about making things safe. It's about making things with integrity.
But about trusting our bodies.
Trusting our bodies. Do what you say you're going to do and go out and be really true. Natural number 9 is kind of the overarching shepherd. It keeps us all together, make sure everyone's included, make sure that we move forward with as little force as we possibly can.
In harmony and balance.
Harmony and balance.
So there's a progression, and then there are different relationships between the natural numbers. Depending on who you're working with, you're going to get a different combination of energies. So there's another huge benefit of understanding the all 9, which is you understand each other and you understand better how to bring together the skills and energies to collaborate in healthy and whole ways.
And I will say that while getting your own natural number identified and becoming who you are and a deeper and more powerful you, it's relatively easy. It's built into you. It's not as easy to learn how to activate the other 8, but the rewards, just like doing anything that is worthwhile, are amazing.
They're mind-boggling.
Mind-blowing. And it doesn't really seem fair to say you really can't experience it until you've done it. But unfortunately,
it's true.
It's true.
And we're always learning and growing with this work. That's the other thing is no matter where you are, no matter where you start, it's an ongoing, constant stream of learning.
So if you're wondering, how do I reach more? If you're wondering what's next for you, if you're wondering how do I make a huge difference, more so than I already am, we have an answer for you.
We do. Come find out your natural number and continue to explore with us.